Hey, it's Juliet Loves Beginning. I have one of my more free-form personal messages today, but it seemed as if uh, it seems as if I'm given permission to just make a voice recording and to not have myself on video. And I thought, well, why does that feel like relief? Why am I happy about that? I realized I think there's this huge layer of self-hatred attached to the body that I'm about to walk through. And is there trepidation? Yep, there is. But I know I walk forward through it because, yeah, there is really no going backward. I think a lot of you know once you get far enough, there isn't any going backward and you just keep going. So that's where it seems like this is going. But it just felt like great relief. Oh, I can just talk and and then I got told use a candle video, put a candle photo with recording. So that's what I'm going to do today, and it feels like a gift. The message today is called Tidings of Comfort and Joy. And the first idea is no mental gymnastics are needed, and I have felt the great relief of that lately. I have felt when I start to think about something, it falls apart almost immediately. I don't know if you've ever played with Tinker Toys. It's a child's toy with pieces of wood, like sticks, and then things that connect the sticks that fit together. And it almost feels like when I start thinking that the structure collapses immediately, and I think, what do I have to rely on? What now? I can't think. But then I realize, oh, it's just what do I have to rely on is what's here. And what's here just shows me and guides me. And there's almost an offense. My thinking isn't needed. Nope, it isn't actually, which is a relief. It makes everything very simple. So there's that. Then the other idea was that tidings of comfort and joy are available to all from within. Any sense of false you providing this comfort and joy can melt. And wow, this is having a big impact on me in the motherhood role, in the friend role. Whenever I think I'm helping, I realize the degree of anxiety when I think I'm helping or when I think I want to help. It just kind of slammed me in the face. Just, whoa, all this anxiety. And just almost being speechless or motionless in the realization of it and understanding, well, this can't continue. I can't move forward like this level of anxiety and thinking something's wrong and wanting to help. So I know something very transformative is right there. And what I have always when I hit one of those points where something is shown to me, what do I have? Willingness. And oh boy, I feel called to speak about my projections right now. I don't want to, but I feel called to, so I know it will be good for me. When I look out there in the world, I have an idea from ego. I know it's from ego because it doesn't feel good. So the idea is this. Why don't people talk about this as they're moving through the layers? Why don't they talk about their fear? Because recognizing the fear is key to letting it go. And I recognize that right there as an egoic trap. And honestly, it's not quite clear to me yet how it is, and I would have to do mental gymnastics to see it. And I could, work on it like homework, but actually I know if I just keep going along this path, it'll get shown to me. How when I ask, why isn't everybody else doing this? It's going to get shown to me and it'll become clear and I'll be able to laugh at it. And I think I can just trust in that. So I guess the idea in exploring that is the simplicity. What is here for us clears up all those questions, and only the ego comes up with questions like that. And they're like little whirlpools I can decide to pause in, or I can just understand that those questions will be dissolved for me as I keep moving through. So yeah, that feels kind of new too, because I used to need a lot more to figure things out and would want to pause and figure it out for myself. Now I know whatever it is will get dissolved or I'll get shown. Yeah, and then the next part of that was just have the willingness to allow the tidings to blossom from everyone and everything. That's beautiful, because what I forget when I'm asking that question, why don't the people around me just admit to how scared they are? And when I seem to be admitting to it, there must be a lot I'm not admitting to. But just instead, just have the willingness to allow the tidings of comfort and joy to blossom from everyone and everything. Why would I want to hold that back? Why would I want to use time to try to focus on something other than what is actually present in everyone and everything as its reality? Yeah, so I can look at that and not look at it in the sense of figuring it out. Just be still and allow what isn't to dissolve and allow what is to become obvious. So I got offered a symbol of the park bench and got told, rest when mind activity is wearying. This is what time is for. To become aware of this useless mind activity, to rest, to be still, to let everything be made apparent. And there is this struggling part of me, the false me, that would think it can't rest and it has to try to put things right. And more I get to encounter that and see it and sit down and rest and let everything settle. So yeah, the park bench is always here for me. And especially in those moments where I believe I can't sit down on this bench. I've got to do this and this and this. That's exactly when I should sit down on the bench. I'm learning. I'm learning more. Those are exactly the moments when I should sit on the bench. So yeah, in those moments, ego is raving. It's raving about everything it needs to do and how important it is and what has to be done and how. And I find Christmas to be a lot. Oh, I didn't think that I was going to reveal this about myself. I feel like I have an inner conflict. Like, don't admit this about Christmas, but I'm about to. Ego raves, and we can begin to recognize these thoughts not as rational or logical, but as raving. So as I've let these thoughts go, my husband did Christmas entirely and early, and like earlier than I would even think of it. He just got presents for the kids, had them sent to his parents, went over there, wrapped them. He just did it. And honestly, the guilt that exposed was, oh my gosh, I have become so dysfunctional that I cannot even do Christmas. And do Christmas. And when I look at that, I think, well, I'm a stay-at-home parent, right? And so one of the most fearful thoughts of being the stay-at-home parent is, what the hell do you do all day? Sometimes I cannot give a good account of myself. And if I try to decide the account is good or bad, that's where I get into trouble. But the more and more I go into mind clearing, the more and more I am not able to enact what I used to enact in anxiety. And I used to think that this mind clearing would mean that once I clear what is standing in the way of love, then what replaces it is this picture of an ideal, right? Then I'd be able to do Christmas joyfully. But no, sometimes, maybe all the time, the ego's ideal does not replace the fearful thoughts that were there before. And so my husband's reflecting on doing Christmas the way he did this year. And, I assisted in saying, oh, I think this one would like this, or getting the kids to put things on their wish list if they were asking for things. And so my input seemed very, very minimal. And after doing this, my husband said, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't do Christmas anymore. Maybe if they want something, we get it for them, but we don't do the presents like we did. And I was thinking, yeah, let's not. And in the past, I would have been afraid, like, oh no, their little hearts would break if they didn't have any presents on Christmas. And now I have to say I don't care. And I don't feel so able to judge that. There's like a memory of saying, are you sure that's the way to go? But I could hold them if they cry, or, we could talk about, it's not like we're just going to turn around and be like, no presents for Christmas. But I don't know, things that used to be ideals are changing and crumbling, and those aren't the important things, obviously. I don't know what to say about it. Just that things fall apart and things get taken care of in the background when I don't try to run things from anxiety. And I'm in the middle of it. I'm in the middle of how it's unfolding, and everything seems to be fine. Everything seems to be supported, and the things that don't need to be supported will just fall away. And I don't know what those things are or how it's going to unfold. I don't know. But I guess I'm getting comfortable I'm getting into the point of trusting the I don't know, rather than trying to, through force, enact the I know. I know how Christmas should go, and it should go like this. I used to be a big cookie maker. I don't care. I do not care about making cookies. I don't. And I'm thinking, I'm known for making certain cookies, and it seemed to be that was an expression of my love. If I make the spritz cookies, or if I make the molasses spice cookies, I would think that's something I'm able to do well. One of the few remaining things, I could do this well, and I could control it, and I can give it to people as a symbol of that, that I love them. I don't care about it. And I don't know what to do about that, other than to know one day I might feel like making cookies, and then I will. Or maybe I won't. And that's where the fear comes up. People won't feel loved if I don't do what I used to do to show them that I love them. That is pretty convoluted. And the amount of thinking it requires is not, what do I want to say, not sustainable anymore. It needs to be simple. My instructions for the day need to be simple in order for me to be able to follow them. And maybe the instruction will be make these cookies, but if the instruction is make these cookies, I will feel at peace during the making of them. And if I don't, then I have something else to do. So that's where I am. I think the holidays can bring up this fear and go memory, and memory of these enactments that we thought symbolized love. And love is that which gives us the simple instructions, which may or may not have us making cookies. Okay. Let's see. It's the ideals. It's all the ideals. So I'm just going to read over the other thought I was given. Ego raves, and we can begin to recognize these thoughts not as rational or logical, but as raving. Yeah, Christmas thoughts. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, or you gotta. That feels like raving. And I just have to wait for the sane thought to come and follow that. And that involves more waiting. Waiting for the obvious to make itself obvious. Okay, the great temptation is to project and judge what we perceive to be another's thoughts. We're better off if we remember the gift of tidings of comfort and joy available within them. Yes, this is happening to me. Because as things seem to change, or if things I used to do don't seem to be the thing to do right now, I'll think about what will people think? And right there, right at that point, I know that's none of my business, but I'm so used to making it my business when it comes to the idea of making people happy. I'll think, but what will they think if I don't do this? Or what will they think if I do it this way? If I'm not really feeling it, but I should force myself to do it in the old accustomed way, because what will they think if I don't? Yeah, that comes up a lot. And if I'm trying to perceive another's thoughts and judge them, that's way too much thinking. It's way too much thinking. So and when I'm engaged in that thinking, I completely forget the tidings of comfort and joy that are present in every situation, in everyone, in everything. That's very simple. In every crystal of sugar, in every perceived room in the house, and everything perceived, what is actually within, what is most real about it, are the tidings of comfort and joy. And if I have myself caught up in these doings, I'm not going to slow down to perceive that. So that's where I am right now. Their within is our within. So the ones who I think would be upset with me if I don't push myself out of fear to do God knows what, tidings of comfort and joy are alive within them. And wouldn't it be the better gift to allow those to be revealed and to celebrate those and to bask in those? Wouldn't that be the better gift? I'm being talked to right now, slowly, as I look at this. I didn't know it would be such a deep learning as I speak, such a slow down to look. But there it is. Their within is our within. And that's where we can rest. So when we rest, inspiration does come. There's still the part of me that says, you handle this, you do this, you try to make sure nothing goes wrong. But honestly, that part of me is so weak that I feel like I can barely rely on it, And what is real about us is so powerful and so transformative and so helpful to everyone without exception. Why wouldn't we want to allow it to take over? Why wouldn't we want to allow it to take over Christmas and do what it will with it? Because what it wills is our shared will, which is harmony, and that I can trust. All right then, so deep dive, and hoping you're well and doing well. And if you're walking through those layers of fear and resistance, thank you, because I'm walking with you and wishing you well.